hello, my sweet friends, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hello, I'm MarissaLace. I create content all around self-love, wellness, tapping into your inner goddess to create your dream life, and just unapologetically loving ourselves. I have an online crystal shop. I create self-love manifesting digital courses, and now I am going through my first pregnancy. So I am a first-time mama. In today's video, I wanted to do a old school YouTube get ready with me video and talk to you guys about the second trimester. The second trimester was beautiful, some scary moments, and just sit down and catch up. So, I'm out of breath. I can't believe that I'm now in my third trimester, but we are here, we are doing it, we are making it. The nursery is coming together, baby. So let's jump into the get ready with me video. I love you guys so deeply, and don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Been to a nice old school, old-fashioned get ready with me. I'm so excited. I love these videos. I am going to first go in with the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue in Vanilla 2. This stuff is just super hydrating, and don't worry, I still eat, live, breathe, and swear by my IT Cosmetics CC cream, but this stuff is just so hydrating, and ever since I got pregnant, I swear my skin is definitely different. I cannot believe, you guys, honestly, that I am in my third trimester, and just to be super honest, I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna have a baby come out of my bits. You know what I mean? I remember in my first trimester video, I spoke about how I really don't have a birth plan and how I don't want to set expectations for myself because I've never experienced birth before. And now, now that it's very clear it's gonna happen, I have a lot of thoughts, I have a lot of fears, and I'm gonna own it. I got a lot of fears, you know what I mean? She's gonna come in, like a wrecking ball, Do you know what I mean? She's going to come out of me. So then I just, yes, she is. I just took a pump of the IT Cosmetics in Fair, because I'm still white AF, and I just put that around the center of my face where I need more coverage. But so before we get into the birth plan, which has changed, and I think after labor I will share kind of what I wanted for my birth plan and where I came up with those, ideal situations, but we will get to that in a moment. Let's talk second trimester. I did share in my McDonald's mukbang video that I have had a really good second trimester, which is the case for a lot of people. They do call it the unicorn period for a reason, and I will say that I had a pretty decent first trimester compared to some. And so I have really been sitting in gratitude for just how my body has been handling pregnancy, really trying to appreciate my body and appreciate the woman's body is insane. But I am so grateful for how my body has been handling pregnancy. The body is absolutely a gosh darn miracle. Let me tell you that. A woman's body never seems to stop impressing me. More than just women get pregnant, there are birthing people, chest feeding, the whole 9 yards. No, you are seen and accepted here. And really, I have never been more appreciative of my body. I have never felt more also connected to my body, which is interesting because I've always felt that I was super connected to my body, and this just took it to a whole freaking new level. I will say that during this second trimester, towards the end, I definitely went back to having that first trimester level of exhaustion. I know some people get a ton of energy in their second trimester. I don't really necessarily think I had a ton more energy as much as I didn't have the nausea, and I definitely had those little bouts and spouts of anxiety, and not pregnancy anxiety in the sense of being being anxious about my pregnancy, but just being anxious and like having like, I feel like until you feel it, you know when the anxiety and when these feelings and when these like surges of emotions, it's very easy for me to identify in my body what is mine and kind of what is just like the excess of all these things running through my body, which I don't know, this, of course I have been like on this journey and path of like growth and self-reflection and really just harnessing and creating a deeper relationship with myself and my inner goddess, and having this foundation of self is so important, but I had no idea how important it would be until I got pregnant. And just having a lot of, what's that word, like self-awareness, I guess, it has been more than helpful, because in those moments of like pregnancy anxiety, in those moments of feeling overwhelmed, and even overwhelmed of like, how am I going to keep up with what I'm doing now when baby Lace gets here? And like, I think that's a fear a lot of us have, especially as women in this generation, in this day and age, of like, oh, like, yes, we do it all and we can have it all, and yes, we can, but like, do we want to? Like, you know what I mean? So the capacity in which like I do a lot of things that I'm kind of like, like the days that I'm very low energy, I'll find myself then getting down the rabbit hole and a little more stressed about like, how the F do I do this when baby is here, you know? But being open to all the support, being open to all the help, knowing that, you know, not only am I going to be able to manage it, not only knowing that it's all going to work out, but knowing that I do have people around me to help and support me, like hiring people, of course, all those things. And that's just been something super interesting to sit with, of like the anxiety of like being stressed out over something that hasn't even happened yet and I don't even know will happen, is super interesting. I have found in the second trimester, I have been craving meat a lot more. And as you guys know, I don't really eat meat. It's just not my jam, not my vibe. And like, when I say I don't eat meat, I really just don't enjoy it, in the sense of my body doesn't enjoy it. I feel so much better when I don't eat it. And I have like been craving it in very odd amounts. So I've had it a couple times, and every time I have it, I'm just like, ugh. You know what I mean? When I had McDonald's at one time, though, delicious. I totally get why people eat it. Awful for our body, but wow, the taste buds. I think too that just really being open to kind of whatever my body is craving, and then also just knowing that I've been taking really good care of my body, that's something that's been important to me. Even though I've had really kind of not the best energy, like low energy, to be honest, the past couple weeks, I still do my best to walk every day, even if it's only for 30 minutes, or if I can do the full hour that I really try and do. And knowing that you can like break that hour up too, right? But just knowing that I like want to keep doing my workouts, I want to keep eating healthy, not only for myself and like how I feel about myself, and for baby to have energy and feel good and all these things and take care of my body, but I think we forget that labor is like physical. Do you know what I mean? So like really trying to keep up so I don't, you know, go into labor and then I'm there for like, you know, 10 to 12 hours and it feels like, I mean, they say labor is like running a marathon. So really trying to take care of my body, mind, body, soul, not just with what we're eating, but like the people I surround myself with, like what I listen to, like what I've been watching. I don't watch any traumatic birth story videos. I just don't even hold space for something that could put all these fears in my head, and that's been something that's very important to me, because it's like, obviously we are all very aware that, you know, things could happen and things could go the opposite way of what you want them to, but really just trying to surround myself with things that feel good, and harnessing a lot of inner peace and grounding my energy a lot and moving a little bit slower in the mornings has been super interesting. And it's like been so eye-opening, because before I got pregnant, if I was feeling like really low energy, or if I was just even having like an off day and I like didn't have the mental energy or physical energy to get things done, y'all, I would just like slam some Alani Nu, get a cold brew. We know your girl loves a coffee. Like I would be like, well, we're getting to it, you know what I mean? And now that I'm pregnant, I can't do that. And it's been so interesting and beautiful to look at, like, wow, like how I just would do that and operate that way before. So, you know, really just trusting the moments that you do have to kind of slow down, and in that, like, really looking at the divine feminine of it all, which is, you know, all about like motherly energy in general, of knowing that it all gets done and really trusting this process of not needing to rush. I feel like that's what my second trimester and even going into the third trimester, like where I'm at now, that is kind of like the biggest lessons of where I am, of just like the rush is not needed. And I feel like, you know, in this day and age right now, we kind of live in like a hustle culture, I feel like still, and it really is like realizing that like we are not machines. Like we do not have to operate that way at all. And so that's kind of been my focus right now, like my focus of enjoying the end of my pregnancy, enjoying like time with my partner while it is still just us and the dogs, and, you know, really like soaking up those last couple weeks that we're here. And my second trimester just felt like a very, I don't know, like a fun version of being pregnant, but then still just like kind of like pacing myself and opening up my heart to this idea of like, oh my gosh, like things are like really happening, you know? And I say that too because like that's when I felt like the biggest physical changes in my body and such. And so really like looking at that and being open to it. The second trimester, man, I mean, yeah, it's so wild. The body is so wild. It's so crazy to think that we are going to have a baby here sooner rather than later. And it really does go by so quickly. So I have just been trying to focus on, it's funny, towards the end of my second trimester, I started like just not craving healthy foods again, but then I went through this phase where like my favorite thing to eat was, what's that called? Persian cucumbers and hummus. And then like baby carrots and just like really hydrating foods. I have I've started my hypnobirthing classes, obviously, with Mr. Manifested, and I really like them so far. I also downloaded the Freya Positive Birthing Company app to track my contractions with. I ordered some of our postpartum things, pretty much anything free to mom. I did order the high-waisted like disposable underwear just in case I do have a C-section, if things like, you know, go crazy and I have a C-section. So now I'll have the high-waisted ones. But let me know down below, you guys, what were your postpartum must-haves? I want to know. We are now like getting the nursery finally in order. All of baby Lace's laundry is almost done, and now we're just kind of organizing it. I honestly am not like a super organized, like everything has a place in a home sort of person, but I do know that that would be beneficial for the nursery. So we are kind of doing that this weekend. And it's just been really beautiful and fun to like all do together. My grandparents were here this weekend and they like kind of liked helping and doing all those little things. We just got them their stroller systems. So for them, we got the Duna system, but then we also got the same Uppa Baby system that we have. So we have the Uppa Baby travel system, which is the bassinet, the regular stroller, as well as the infant car seat. And I asked on Instagram about the Duna, and the only complaint that I was getting is that it was heavy, but then when I looked up the weight of it, my grandparents are like fit AF. Like, I don't know how to tell people this other than like my grandparents can probably outrun you, outbench you, because they can outrun and outbench me like any day of the week. So they're fit AF people. When I told them the weight of it and that the baby obviously plus that, they were like offended that I brought it up. And I'm like, okay, well, I was just letting you know before we do this. So that is them. That is their truth. That is them living their truth. They're so excited about MarissaLace. I cannot wait to experience them with MarissaLace. And speaking of like a birth plan, the further along, the more interested and like opinions that I feel like I'm getting within myself. So the doctor that I mainly see is an absolute gem. And we did talk about pain management options. She did share with me that she had a natural birth, which I know that people are very like torn about that whole statement of a natural birth. All birth is natural. All birth is natural. All birth is beautiful. There's no medal at the end if you chose like to, you know, use pain medication, to get an epidural, to use the laughing gas, whatever the hell it is. Like, there is no judgment here. But when she says that she had a natural birth, I knew exactly what she meant. So you know exactly what I mean. She had no, you know, I always want to say meditation. She had no medication, and didn't get an epidural. And so we talked about kind of the pain management options, and I am thinking and feeling in this moment that what I want to strive for and what I, you know, the most ideal situation is that luckily my hospital does have the birthing tubs, the jacuzzi tubs. So I really want to try and use those. I want to try and labor at home as long as I can. Obviously, if my water breaks or something, go to the hospital. If you guys have had your water broken and you did not have an epidural, what was that like? Let me know. Because my biggest fears around pregnancy are not the contractions. It's like the actual like pushing part, in the sense of like tearing really scares me. Obviously, baby coming out like without an epidural, like, yeah, that sounds pretty scary. But then I think about my ideal situation for like laboring and pushing, and I kind of want to be able to get up and walk around. I want to be able to like get in the tub, to squat, to do all these things. So obviously I have never gone through labor, and that's why I am so flexible with all my ideas. And I, you know, tell this to my doctor and everyone who asks me, because people do ask me all the time if I have a labor or a birth plan yet. And my plan is to just have a healthy baby. My plan is to just get through it, to know that at the end I am going to have a baby, and just to try and be present and try and like, I'm honestly not even worried about Mr. Manifested or who will be in the room. I am trying to just like be in the moment and not let myself get too overwhelmed or too stressed, in the sense of if things are moving too quick and I feel like I can't process it. Like, my partner and I have had so many conversations about like, I love you so much. I want you to enjoy this experience also. And I just want it to be like, I almost can't worry too much about like everyone else's feelings in the room, which is like something that I do a lot. I will like want to make sure that everyone else is like okay and everything's fine. And you know, even like me now, I'm like, okay, I can't be that person who I'm overly apologizing to the nurses, and just like they know what I'm going through and, you know, all these things. So I have talked to my doctor, and I do look forward to like once it gets closer to kind of discussing my labor plan with her. And I don't know. So ideally, sorry, I got all distracted. I do want to try and labor at home for a bit. I do want to use the jacuzzi tub, but I have to wait and see. I have to wait and see because I am so interesting, in my opinion, when I am in pain. I don't like to talk a lot. I need to be quiet, and I kind of just need to breathe. And it's just very interesting. I think that I don't respond to pain or those situations the way people might assume that I would. And I know I want to make a playlist. Yes, the Freya baby app has like affirmations and things like that. So I know that I'll have that. I know that I will have it. I'll probably make a fun playlist for myself of just like light love and labor, just like for fun, when I just like need to laugh. And that's the other thing. I really want to laugh when I am in labor, and just like for the oxytocin, for like the love hormone to get like the body moving, because when I am in pain, that is something that I enjoy. I need to almost like not distract myself, but just bring some joy to the situation and be able to laugh about it. And when I say that, I mean that I kind of, like, I have these comedy specials that I really love that I've been watching throughout my pregnancy. And when I say that I've been watching them throughout my pregnancy, I mean, like, I shouldn't still be laughing at these same jokes, but I really just love them. I love laughing, and it just helps me so much when I'm feeling, like, uncomfortable and in discomfort. And so just kind of also being able to find joy in the situation of, like, holy shit, this is painful, like this is happening, but like we're here, and like baby's coming, and this is no joke. Like, that's something that happens a lot when I am like kind of uncomfortable or in pain or anything. It's like I try and make a joke about the situation, and honestly, like, I'm okay doing that. I'm okay trying that. The older I get, the more that I find so much beauty in trying to find the joy in any situation, and knowing that, you know, I know people, if you've been in labor, you're probably like, oh, easy for you to say, or oh, just wait, like all these things. And yeah, it is just waiting, but I can't wait to feel a contraction, because I have no idea. All of this is just based off like kind of my ideas right now and what I've like talked to my doctor about and things like that. So, I mean, all I can do is put together a slight plan and know that everything is subject to change, and there's no wrong answer. I don't think that me, you know, saying that I don't really want an epidural right now, like in this point in my pregnancy, never feeling a contraction, and saying that I don't want an epidural. I want to try and just use the gas. So that's my thing. I keep getting distracted. I want to try and just use the gas. I am open to the IV, but we'll see. And I just kind of want to try and not have the epidural. I want to fully feel and experience my labor. And that's kind of what it is. And, you know, my mom had epidurals both times. My grandma had an epidural. I'm pretty sure my aunt and my dad's side of the family, they all had epidurals. And there's nothing wrong with getting an epidural. I just kind of want to experience it. But I think that's like the Aries in me, where I'm just like, what's up? Let's see what's happening. Brand new whip just hopped in. You know what I mean? That's my daughter, my child. I'm the whip. She hopped in. But I'm personally just so excited for it, and and more than being excited or stressing out too much about labor, I have found myself, like, the second trimester was so easy. It almost feels like there's nothing to say other than, like, I got to really soak it in and enjoy it. And now I am trying to, like, really soak it in and enjoy it and nest a lot. I am trying to declutter a lot right now. That way, when she is here, like, I always feel like things just get messed, not even, like, dirty, but just, like chaotic and like cluttered out of nowhere, just because I have a lot of stuff. And so when people are like, oh, everything needs to have a place, and I'm like, oh, like, what's that like? You know what I mean? So even down to, like, during my pregnancy, I have this gold clothing rack that I really love. And I've just been putting all of my outfits that I love to wear, that I know make me feel good, that fit me and everything like that. I've just been putting those on the gold rack, which I know it's like, oh, why don't you just put it in your closet? And I'm like, but then I don't see it. And when I see it, I get excited to get ready and all these things. So now I'm like, oh, okay, well, I know I like to do that. So I'm gonna go through my closet and just like get rid of things if I don't like wearing it. And not even just like, oh, during pregnancy, but like if I haven't worn this in a very long time, you gotta go, your time is up, you know? So that's what the second trimester has been. The second trimester has been honestly really good. Honestly, out of breath all the time, still constipated. If you saw my inner child healing and vulnerable and honest update, you know that I talked about this really intense chest pain that I almost had to go to the ER, but it was just what I thought. It was 1000% connected to my pregnancy, just like I thought, and it was just my rib cage being stretched. Fun. Love that. My doctor was telling me that, you know, once baby starts needing to make room for themselves, that the muscles in between your ribs, like you can feel like you pulled a muscle and it's, you know, stretching those, pulling those, and it's very painful. So it feels like the worst heartburn of your life mixed with, honestly, what I would imagine like a stroke feels like just all that sharp pain in your chest, which is why they wanted me to go to the ER. But I was like, I know I'm fine. I know this isn't actually my heart. Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. For my blush, I used the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush in Incandescent Electra. This is my current favorite blush. I think this is so beautiful. I've been using a new concealer. I've been like trying more drugstore product. I don't know. I saw it on the TikTok. You know what I mean? So this is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer Satin Finish. I really love that. I've been trying these new powders. Kind is the new Pretty Tarte Shape Tape powder. I really enjoy those. I think those are nice. Sometimes I'll use this Melt Genesis highlight. It's like a peachy golden highlight. I'll use it just like over the tops of my cheeks. Take a small bath in it. Yes, ma'am. Yep. Have to take a bath in it or it does not count. Where is... Okay, wait. Okay. I had my anatomy scan, obviously, and everything looks stellar, fantastic. I did come back as a carrier on the genetic testing. I came back as a carrier for spinal or something like that. So that was kind of scary during the genetic testing. I think it's something like that. If I totally botched the name, whatever. But we did do the genetic testing for that. That's how we found out baby Lace's sex so early. And so when we did that genetic testing, I did come back as a carrier for that. And when my doctor first told me, I was honestly very scared, overwhelmed, because she said it in kind of like a passing, fleeting way and was like, yeah, like you can get your partner tested too for the genetic testing and then see if you're both carrier. And she said it very, like, you know, nonchalantly. And then when I looked it up after I left, I was like, oh my god, this is such a big deal. Why did she like say it not so nonchalantly? Long story short, we ended up not going through with testing my partner because I knew that I also knew that even if he comes back as a carrier, there's still a very low, not only is there a very low percentage of us both having it, but there's a low percentage chance of then baby Lace getting it. It's still not for sure and certain that she would have it, even if we were both carriers. And the next step would be a very invasive test where they would actually go in, like, into where she is and test it, and I wouldn't want to do that. The risk is very high to do that, and I knew I wouldn't want to move forward with that, so I knew that it would just add more stress to the situation. So during the anatomy scan and through just some of the more blood work that we've done and everything like that, my doctors let me know that she's not worried at all and that she thinks everything is fine and great and it's not something to worry about. So that was a relief. The anatomy scan came back clear, all good, looking phenomenal. The nursery is pretty much almost done. We have her snoo now, we have the rocking thing now. I finally ordered a rocking chair. Once the rocking chair gets here, we will be doing a nursery tour, and then I think separate from the nursery tour, I want to do a kind of baby organization video and kind of showing individually the main things that we bought for baby, and then after baby comes, showing like what we regret buying, because I think those videos are fun. And let's be real, we'll probably all have like regrets. We're first time moms. I bought the fucking snoo, okay? I did it. I bought it in the first trimester. I bought it literally way too early. But I don't believe in way too early. I remember I got some comment saying that because I had lost my first pregnancy that it was stupid of me to buy big ticket items so soon. But people, you know what I mean? People. But this is our get ready with me. We did the gosh darn thing, curled our hair today, did the whole vibe, put on our Ilia Balmy Gloss and Petals. This is the Patrick Ta She's Thirsty Major Glow Spray, a ride or die of mine. I absolutely love it. And yes, you guys, that is my second trimester update. I will give you guys a little bump update as I am, oh my god, look at the bump. She said, girl, you ain't gotta work hard, I'm right here. Oh my gosh. Feels so big, just like my boobs. So big. Ooh! But that is our second trimester update. I'll take you guys into the nursery for a moment. It is finally somewhat coming together in here. I cannot wait to do some more organizing. We have a bunch of hanging to do also. The chair is coming. There's a lot happening. Love you guys so deeply. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for sitting down and doing my makeup with me and talking about the second trimester, going into the third. And if you are on your own TTC journey right now, I am sending you so much love. If you are just here to love me and support me, I love you right back. And I will see you guys in our next video. Bye.